Hello again. This is Adrienne of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. I am going to make a bold prediction. Well, actually, if you've been paying attention, you would say, Adrienne, that prediction is not at all bold. That prediction is obvious. Well, maybe not so much for everybody, so I'll make the bold prediction anyway. My prediction is that Caitlin Clark will not be playing in Unrivaled if Unrivaled manages to make it to a second season, which of course I hope it does. Nonetheless, I predict we will not see Caitlin Clark playing for Unrivaled. And unless things drastically change, which they may, it's just the first season of Unrivaled. But unless things drastically change, I don't see Caitlin Clark ever playing in Unrivaled. Now, remember when she said she was not playing, she said she was not going to play this season. I guess she's going to see how things go. We were kind of strung along for a while, although I'm sure Caitlin didn't string them along. I'm sure Caitlin let them know she was not going to play. For a while, I thought I could read in something she said that she was going to play. I was wrong about that. She probably told them a long time before they told us, so they could kind of keep that interest going. And of course, they were still trying to get her to change her mind, I imagine, since they said they were going to put on a full court press. There is pressure. I did a video where I said Caitlin Clark obviously doesn't mind saying no about some things. She said no about this, and they would have paid her off the charts. If she had been playing right now, she would have been wishing she could be somewhere else. I'm not saying that the people who are playing now aren't having a good time. I'm not saying that they don't have great facilities. I'm not saying that the camaraderie is not growing. There are some upsides to Unrivaled. There are relationships being built, I'm sure. There are players who are feeling valued. There are players who are getting coaching tips and things like that. There is something to be said for it, but there's a whole lot that has to be changed in Unrivaled. And for Caitlin Clark to have forfeited what she's doing in her offseason to play in this league would have been a bad decision on her part. I know that they wanted her to come in and save the day and bring the eyeballs. For sure, the ratings would not be what they are right now. The ratings would be much better. The quality of play, at least for her team, would be much better. And I think she could absolutely dominate in Unrivaled, but it's a whole different brand of basketball. It's not the same as the WNBA. Players who are not doing so well in Unrivaled could very well do well in the WNBA, and players who are doing well in Unrivaled could stink it up in the WNBA. It's totally different. Some things, like I said, are universal, but some of it just it's night and day. But Caitlin, she's watching, at least I don't know if she's sitting there watching the whole games. We talked about this in one of my live streams. I asked people if they thought WNBA players were actually watching Unrivaled. I don't know that a bunch of WNBA players are sitting around tuned in from game beginning to game end, and then there's a second game, that beginning to that end. I don't know, because sometimes it's really hard to watch. I think overall it's hard to watch, and it has moments where it's fun to watch, but overall it's just not good looking basketball. Beyond that, there are so many injuries involved in this thing. And you have to wonder, as people have asked, why are so many people hurt? It's unlike anything I've ever seen in terms of injuries, but it needs a lot of work. And if Caitlin is one of the players who tune in, even if not for full games, who tune in to see any of it, she's got to be thinking, whew, I dodged a serious bullet. And I don't see anything in Unrivaled that would make her say, I'm in for next year. Sign me up. Sign me up. I can't imagine that your most serious players would want to participate after this first season. I can understand the first season, the novelty of it, the amenities, the facilities, the resources, the money, the not having to go overseas, those kinds of things are appealing to some people. And there are some people who like, okay, it's not the WNBA. I'll take it for what it is and I'll have some fun. I'll get some skills, worked on, I guess, and I'll make some money. And yeah, I'll do it again. But I have a hard time seeing like an Asia Wilson in this. In fact, honestly, if Nafisa Collier wasn't one of the co-founders, I have a hard time imagining that this would be a league that she would say after looking at it, sign me up, sign me up. Caitlin is at a huge advantage. I know some would say, but the stamina that's being built, certainly it's high, it's fast paced and all that. But the relationships being built, certainly there's something to be said for that. But there's also the injuries. There's also some cheap shots. There's just a lot of stuff that needs work. And Caitlin right now is spending her time working out, getting stronger physically, I'm sure, working on her own in the weight room, things like that, but also having an opportunity to work with Keith Porter. We don't even get to see. They showed us a little bit, but there's so much more going on. In fact, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's look back at the first workout she had with Stephanie White and Keith Porter. Caitlin Clark running off screens, floater, right hand, floater, left hand, taking the bump and finishing, dribbling skills, all kinds of stuff. She got to work with Stephanie White, with the other coaches, with Keith Porter. That was just the first workout. We got to see more workout after that. Of course, they're not going to show us everything, but she is steadily working out. So, Adrienne, would you say that it's better for her to be doing this than being an Unrivaled? And yeah. I already said that. I say it again. Absolutely better. And if she's watching Unrivaled, she's not going to forfeit the opportunity to do what we see her doing right there, to do what they're doing in Miami. Absolutely not. Let me add also that a Caitlin Clark, a player like her, is not going to be okay with players who disappear during the season because of prior commitments. It's like, wait a minute, if I'm going to go all in, I expect other people to go all in. I'm not going to sacrifice my time, my name, all that trying to compete, because a Caitlin, she wants to win no matter what the name of the league is. She's going to be there. She's going to want to win. She's going to give it 100%. And this halving it thing, I don't see that happening at all. And so from the outside looking in at this thing, again, like I said, is it a real league or is it a rec league? REC and WRECK. Player like Caitlin Clark, if you're going to be in, be in. If you're not going to be in, don't call me to be in with your nonsense. That's not going to fly. So I know that she's glad that she's not out there. It is the injuries alone. Something is up when that many people get injured. The injuries alone, no plan for how to handle injuries with players, the whole issue with officials being so inconsistent. It's just something she obviously would have zero regrets about bypassing. But I also say, and it's not really even such a bold prediction, I'm just saying that, kind of sarcastically, I guess. I think it's obvious to me. I mean, you can disagree, get in the comments and say, no, I think she's gonna want in. I think she just wanted the first season to stay away because she played so much basketball. She's gonna jump in next season. She's gonna put on the cape and save the league. And whatever you think, get in the comments and say so. I think there is absolutely no way, based on what we see right now, that this is something she's going to do unless they make some huge major changes. And even then, I kind of want to, if I'm her, want to sit back and see what those changes look like before I get myself in there. But I think we are not going to see Caitlin Clark in Unrivaled. And I think that's a really wise decision. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.